Max is furry, Max is round. I'm really gonna miss him when he leaves town. I love Max, but I don't think he loves me back. He smells like farts, and I wonder why. He ends up making my basement smell like shit.
Wow. Excellent. Great job. All right, this is Podcast Paradise episode 12. Welcome. Yeah, Dan, I do love you back.
Aw, thank you.
And
He's lying.
Aw.
about the fart thing, quick tangent. I'm
afraid, honestly.
I've had some pretty painful shits in my life. I've had some that have torn my asshole to the point where it hurt to finish and I quit. And I have never experienced like the type of searing pain that I experienced last night, where it was like, and it's not like I've never had spicy like buffalo sauce before.
Quick note for people who aren't up to date on the Max lore: this man hasn't had a solid shit in the past 3 or 4 years. They've been all liquid and painful. So I wanted to get that out of the way.
If he does it in the shower, no worries, goes right down the drain.
Yeah, we can talk about that once you're done with that. We won't forget.
All right. Yeah, it's not like I've never had like hot sauce or buffalo sauce before, but I went to Boneheads last night.
Great place, by the way.
And
fucking killer.
I usually don't get the super hot stuff, but I got the mac and cheese bites and it came with like kind of a hot sauce. And just for whatever reason, as I was shitting kind of all day, and then there was just one shit where I could tell.
Wait, how many in the day?
Like, this was like probably my 4th or 5th shit that day.
Oh, wow.
And there was just, for whatever reason, I just like could tell that this was the mac and cheese bite shit. Because it like, you know when you take hot sauce and you like rub your eye and it gets in your eye and it like stings?
Yeah.
That's what happened inside my asshole. Like,
oh no,
in the interior.
Yeah, like I literally just felt like burning hot sauce. I've never felt anything like that. I guess it just must have not gotten digested.
Dude,
I didn't even know that was possible.
You got like the insides of your asshole branded.
Yeah, it was like.
I think your stomach has just like it's so starved for nutrients. Anything that isn't like absolutely filled with nutrients, it's just like, we're not even gonna go through the trouble of processing this, just shit it. So you're just shitting out like totally unprocessed buffalo sauce.
That's what it felt like. It was really weird.
Your first problem was getting mac and cheese bites when you're at a wings place.
No,
I got those as an app.
Those seem like they'd be killer.
Okay.
They were pretty good, but honestly I wish they didn't come with like the hot sauce that they did. Like, I feel like
not eat it.
Well, that was like just the sauce they gave it to you with.
You could probably ask for like mustard or ketchup.
Yeah, I'm saying, I feel like if I were to get them again, I would ask for like a more like honey barbecue sauce.
Dude, honey mustard with those would be good.
Yeah.
All right, so Max.
Oh, here we go.
Max, you want to tell the great people around the world about how you shat yourself in the shower?
Yeah, you're the only witness.
Yeah. I can't tell the story because, you know.
Well, it's pretty simple, really. All that happened was I was in the shower, and I guess I was just focusing on the water pressure, and it's just one of those things where like you've got the water like on kind of like your lower stomach, like hip area sort of. Why'd you just take my phone?
Because it vibrated on the table, you fucking freak. So you're unprofessional.
Sorry. But it's just one of those things where you're just kind of like enjoying the shower pressure, just feeling the hot water on you, washing off all the...
And you match the shower pressure with the asshole pressure. It's gotta alleviate.
Well, all I did was I just went to push out a fart, and I must have just not really felt, because I wasn't really paying that much attention, that it was not just a fart, and a real wet, solid glob of shit just like came right out, and I just washed it down the drain with the shower.
Now, how much effort did it take for it to go down the drain? How easy was it?
It was very easy because it was very wet. Like it was.
I
It
never
just
asked
flowed
you.
right with the water.
I didn't ask you what color was it. Was it just normal brown?
I
Yeah,
imagine
it was-
light brown.
Okay.
It was just pretty normal.
In my head, I imagine it like a yellowish brown, like a sickly.
Like a bile.
Yeah.
You see, Max, I don't understand why you would ever push out a fart with your reputation.
I push out farts all the time.
Yeah, why not just let him... Okay, this is...
With your past history, that has not worked out.
This is
very
something
well.
weird that I don't get, like, at all. Why push out farts?
No, I do that.
Why? They just happen naturally.
Well, because I have normal shits, so it's like it's fine.
Yeah, but, like, I've never, like, had a fart that didn't come out naturally that I had to physically push out.
Well, you
with
don't
effort.
have to, but sometimes you just want to get it done.
Why?
I remember when I was at work like a few weeks ago, I was fucking bloated, and I was like, oh, I just want to fart. So like I would just sit there like at the dish station, just like trying to push it out as much as I can. Like
Oh,
once it
that's-
came out, I was just
Yeah, that's aggressive.
Yeah, that sounds terrifying to me.
and once it came out, it felt nice.
Why don't you just burp at that point?
Cause I couldn't burp. It definitely was already on the lower half.
This is something that I'm not a very like farty person. Like most of my gas is up top, thank God. But like, I don't get why you would push out a fart and not just let God grab you by the hand and take you down the path. Like just let it happen naturally. I don't know, but when you do push them out, that's when shit like that happens.
It happens like 0.0001% of the time.
You know it's more than that.
No, it's happened to me like twice ever.
That's more than it's happened to me.
Like yeah, Max, your fucking your large intestines are just like the Popeye's giant tea bag thing, like full of diarrhea. Like that is what it is.
See, this talk of intestines full of shit is why we'll never get an advertiser.
Yeah, we could. We
No.
can get like Depends.
Fuck.com.
No, it depends.
Yeah,
Depends.
fuck.com.
Depends diapers. They will send us an adult diaper for Max to wear. He'll wear it for a week, and he can attest to the quality of their cloth.
If I had an adult diaper, that would
You would just be shitting constantly.
Yeah, it wouldn't solve anything because no one wants to, especially me. No one wants to be around me when I have just like leftover shit like just in my pants.
Well, I have been around you when you've had leftover shit in your pants.
All right.
Another story from Boneheads.
that's-
You do not have a good track record with Boneheads.
He doesn't have a good track record with shitting.
You want to tell this one, Max?
Sure, we can tell this one and then we'll.
We'll make it a little quicker. Though,
Yeah, we'll get into
Yeah,
this.
we can do an abridged version.
Yeah,
we don't have to do the whole saga.
Yeah, so long story short, I took a giant shit at Boneheads and kind of there must have been like some sort of like drippage or residue that was like inside my pants, and you know I got out of the car and we took two cars there.
I'd like to say that I was driving Max back to Dan's house, and the whole time I was like, Max, are you fucking farting? And he was like, no, like I don't know what's happening, dude. I'm not farting. I don't know what the smell's coming from.
It's not me.
And I thought he was bullshitting, but he legit wasn't farting.
Yeah, so then we get out of the car and the second car conjoins with ours and they're like, oh, what smells like shit? And I'm like, oh man, that must be me. So while they're kind of like, this hangout starting, I'm like, man, I gotta go finish my shit anyway. So I went to the bathroom and took another half-hour shit.
Part 2.
Yeah, part 2. And while I was in there, I just kind of checked scoped out the situation, and there wasn't anything visible, but there was definitely a scent. So I just decided, hey, you know what? I don't want to mess up the flow of the hangout. I'm chilling with the boys. I've already been gone for half an hour. I'll just take off the underwear, put on my pants, and just stash the underwear away in this cupboard and get it later.
You really fucking suck.
And I just kind of, at the end of the hangout, I was like, I'll get it another time. I'll be back. I was there for about 3 weeks until I finally smuggled them out by wearing them again.
Yeah,
and
he
walking out.
he came over without any underwear on, which is a very common occurrence, actually. He's not wearing any underwear right now. just boxers.
All right, I
Not
took them off
boxers.
because we were at the beach and there's a hole in the front, and it was the wet,
Dude.
holy underwear was just uncomfortable.
Well, also, it was more than a hole. The entire front of your underwear just isn't there. And he's just wearing basketball shorts, and the outline of his penis is very visible. But Max, I'd just like to say, I didn't think of this before, but I cannot even imagine like if I were in your shoes, that thought crossing my mind. Like the thought of just being like, instead of going home and changing out of my shitty underwear, like the thought of just leaving them in another person's bathroom. for
My
3
mom
weeks.
smelling it.
Yeah. You fucking suck.
So, if you didn't want to know about Max's shit situation, I'm really sorry about that.
You deserve to know because it has harmed me in so many ways.
But it really is interesting, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Max, on the way home from New York, the trip that me, Dan, and Corey were just on, the man in front of us, it was either his son or something with the sewage.
Cracknail.
Like, Cracknail, his son smelled like shit, or the bathroom was leaking, and I smelled shit the entire ride. That was more bearable than the smell. This 4.5 to 5 hour bus ride where
Yeah,
I
that
was
was
smelling
long.
shit and listening to a dude argue with his business partner was so much more tolerable than the ride home from Boneheads.
You're psycho, man. You're psycho. You're psycho. Don't call me again. Don't call me again, bro.
I was hearing that and him going like, you trying to ride off my cloud. You trying to ride off my cloud. Just some dude fucking arguing. Like Coke Nail, his son watching Fortnite videos on full blast smelling like absolute shit. And me being car sick. And that was leagues more tolerable than the ride home from Boneheads with you and your shitty fucking drawers. You truly disgust me.
All right, on that note,
maybe time to get into the real show.
Mr. Paradise, take us to our next topic.
Okay, so have you, this was just, I actually texted you guys at like 12:30 last night. Because I just got myself riled up thinking about this, and I was like, I gotta get this out here on a pod. So, have you guys either seen or heard anything about the new Dave Chappelle skit or special?
No. I've heard that... Fuck, I heard something about it and that like people were mad, but I don't remember why. Because people are mad for a lot of reasons.
Because there's a bit in the new special where he's talking about a conversation he had with his manager, and the manager's like, hey, you can't say faggot on stage.
Yeah.
And he said, well, why can I say nigger but I can't say faggot? And he's like, yeah, whatever. It's the context of the show. I'm
All right.
repeating the lines,
All right.
doing them justice,
Okay.
giving the full picture. And the manager says, well, you're not a faggot. And then Dave Chappelle is like, well, I'm not a nigger either. And like, that's the joke of the bit.
Yeah.
But people are so up in arms about that. About like people are like, oh, it's so like insensitive that he's like I saw someone on Twitter equate it to like, what if a white guy was like, oh, well, why can't I say cracker but I can't say nigger? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was the whole like outrage, and people are just like, the consensus opinion on Twitter is like killing this guy for the special and for being like completely uncouth and insensitive. And like, all right, so I'll go into a personal thing of mine, because I don't want to sound like the you know, like old school guy who's like hating on like the new like PC culture.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I feel like at some point we have to just kind of acknowledge that we passed the point of no return and it's gone way too far. Where like, so there was a point in my life where, for a couple of reasons, I did not like when people made jokes about drugs, especially hard ones, like particularly like cocaine and heroin and Molly, it ranged from, it would either mess up my next 10 minutes or it would mess up my whole day, really, just because somebody like made a joke about like snorting cocaine. And not once during that period was I ever like, did I ever think to be like, to go up to them and be like, hey man, could you just like not joke about cocaine? Like, that's really offensive. Like, not once did that ever cross my mind. Never did I ever feel like it was like the world's responsibility to like change itself to accommodate my own like insecurities with the world. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like we've gotten so far to this point where like a comedian's not even allowed to like use, and people, these people on Twitter like all saying like, oh well, what do you mean he's not allowed to say it? Like, he said it, he's not kicked off Netflix, he still has his special. It's like, yeah, but like in the court of public opinion, there's like a giant social media website that is outraged at him and wants him quote unquote canceled for doing this. Whereas like I fucking totally lost my train of thought. Regardless, I never thought that it was like other people's responsibility to. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I was gonna say they're so mad at him for using this, like the word faggot in like a comedian sense. Like, is the whole point of comedy not to like joke about things that are uncomfortable, and the whole point of it is that it doesn't mean anything because it's a comedy special, and it's kind of a place where you can just kind of go and fucking say whatever, unless it's not crossing a serious line. You can kind of just go, and taboo topics are not really taboo there, and you can just go laugh about how absurd they are and then like leave, and it kind of makes everyone is that not the whole point? And like, because people are now like sensitive in the last like, I don't know, 5 or so years about like gay rights, that now all of a sudden using the word faggot in a comedy sketch is like totally taboo.
Like, the way I see it is that you're not using, like, he's really not even using it in a negative connotation. Like, he's just using it in a way that's like lighthearted and not really meant to offend gay people. But like, if he, for example, like went up there and was like, oh man, I fucking hate faggots, like,
Yeah,
that Twitter
yeah.
would be like, that would be justified.
Right.
But the sketch that he made very much shows that he still is aware of what he's saying and that he's still respectful, even if he's poking fun a little bit. You know what I mean?
I think it's kind of funny because like the whole point of the joke is like him being like trying to adjust to PC culture, and then like he thought that he got there by like not using that word in a derogatory sense, which I don't think he does in this sense, in this like instance. Like yeah, like Dan said, if he said it in a different way, that'd be fucked. But like the way he's saying it this way is just like, oh, why can't I say this word? Well, because you're not one of them. He's like, all right, well, I don't know. I feel like the whole point of the joke is him like trying to learn to adjust to being PC. But like, and I guess he thought he went far enough, but I guess he didn't. But I don't know. This doesn't, I feel like people shouldn't really be offended by this. I mean, who am I to say that? But like, I don't know. I feel like this one isn't bad enough to cancel someone for. Like, this is just like a joke that didn't land well with some people. Like, it shouldn't be something to end someone's career.
Yeah,
over.
cancellation is too far. Like,
Dude, I am so like just up to here with cancel culture.
I mean, it never really works anyway, so I don't really care.
But I am so just to my absolute limit with it. Where people,
you don't like it? Cancel it.
no, like when Liam Neeson had that thing a few months ago where he came out and was like, it was like a confession where he's like, yeah, man, like one of my friends got raped by a black guy, and like there was a really dark point in my life where I wasn't like fully over the rape, where I like was actually like prejudiced against black people, and like I started to have some really dark thoughts, and it was like him coming out and like admitting his mistake and
That he had problems
and, like,
and
that
he was
I-
trying to overcome
and like
them.
that he moved on from a traumatic experience, and then so fucking predictably the whole fucking Twitter community just absolutely roast him alive. Like, how could you ever have a thought? And it's the same people who are like, I feel, is it just me, or are they like obsessed with trauma? And they're like, oh, you should never like.
Be ashamed to talk about your trauma.
Yeah, like it's crazy. I just don't get it.
Like,
Well,
they're all
I-
about, like, oh, yeah, you go.
I remember seeing this fucking post on either Tumblr or Reddit. I know, awful websites, but it was just like a text post that just said, if you have racist, intrusive thoughts, you're a racist. Like, no, that's just an intrusive thought. Like obviously those aren't great to have, but he had a racist, intrusive thought, which obviously he knew was wrong. That's why he was so ashamed of it and didn't talk about it. So obviously he's
And didn't act on it.
yeah, obviously
And
he's
stemmed from a fucking
a
tragic
major trauma.
experience.
Like obviously he's not fucking racist. He's just went through something, and because of that it changed his thought process and it made him have intrusive thoughts, which he recognized as intrusive and didn't act upon.
Yeah.
So I don't think he should be like commended for it. I don't think he should be like hated for it. I think it should just be like acknowledging
Like,
that's what the fuck
Yeah,
happened. to him.
newsflash, it's called being fucking human.
Like,
Yeah.
nobody is perfect. Everybody goes through dark points. The whole fucking point is to like move on from your flaws and change from them.
Like-
and you're not allowing people to do that by just the second they do anything wrong, that's just, oh, you're a fucking horrible person.
And the way that you get over trauma is by integrating it into your daily life, by making it a part of who you are, and by coming out about it. I'm sure that's exactly what he was trying to do.
Right.
He was trying to make that into who he was. Like, this happened to me, but I got over it. But instead, it just re-upped the trauma, and it shifted it from about rape to about like him being quote unquote racist, which I don't think is the case. But like, that's like if you have an intrusive thought that you recognize as wrong, that doesn't change who you are. Like that, having like an awful thought like that and realizing how fucked up it is doesn't make you an awful person. Like, I'm sure everyone has had the fucking thought of like being on an airplane with a baby and you just want to fucking kill that baby and like punch it in the head.
Dude, more
like-
than that, everyone's had the thought of like when you're driving, you're just like, what if I just fucking just cut the wheel and just rammed into this
Yeah.
person next to me for no good reason?
or like
Like, oh, this dude's riding my ass. Why don't I just, like, press the brake and ruin their car? Like,
Or not even. Like, am I wrong that you haven't had the thought of just like, dude, I could just kill someone right now if I wanted to driving.
my whole thing is I always have the thought of like throwing my phone at someone's windshield and like seeing what happens. Like, that obviously that doesn't make you a bad person. It's just like you have a dumbass thought and you recognize it as fucking stupid, and so you don't act upon it.
and then
like,
you move on.
like, yeah, his was racist, but it was based in trauma, and he didn't act upon it. Having a racist thought doesn't make you a racist person. Having a sexist thought doesn't make you a sexist person. Having a violent thought doesn't make you a violent person. It just makes you a person. Like being mad at someone for trying to integrate their trauma is fucking stupid.
And, like, don't you think, like, the whole, like... Am I the one who finds the whole, like, Twitter... I don't know, maybe you're not even, like, involved in this, but, like...
What, the hug box?
No, that there's, like, a whole, like, Twitter community of blue check marks who, like, just feed into this groupthink. And they're all from, like, totally different walks of life. But they all follow each other and they all retweet and favorite all their shit.
No, I'm not.
And they,
aware
like,
of that.
lead a lot of the discourse on Twitter. Like, what the fuck do Nicole Cliff, Brady Jensen, Amanda Mull, and fucking Dragonfly Jones and John Boyce all have in common? Like, they have nothing in common except that they all have fucking Twitter accounts. And they just, like, feed into this weird group think and it's even to the point where, like, because, like, fucking Shrill and Dragonfly Jones will, like, tweet about the NBA Finals and that they're watching it. Like, now Sophia Benoit is fucking watching and tweeting about the NBA Finals just because that's what's going on in Twitter, and they're, like, all this weird, like, one hive mind. Like, it's fucking bizarre.
The way I see it is it's just conformity. Like, A lot of these people who are spreading this bullshit, they don't even believe in it. They're just doing it because
No, I think they do.
No, they definitely believe in
Yeah,
it.
I think they
some of the
honestly
people
do.
on top do, but I don't think the bulk of people doing it. They're just doing it because it makes themselves feel better.
I totally disagree with you. I think they believe the whole point of Twitter is that like you can have a random ass handle, a random ass name that has nothing to do with who the fuck you are, and you can say what you want. And that's why people they always spout their most radical beliefs on there because like you said, it's so much easier. I was talking about this with someone a while ago. It's so much easier to retweet your political thoughts than to write them out. So if you have someone who has the same beliefs as you, it's so much easier to retweet their tweet and
Yeah.
just and by doing that you're essentially endorsing their message. It's so much easier to do that than to actually write out your own thoughts. And so I think that's what's happening is someone has a thought and then people agree with it. So that gets retweeted, that gives them attention. Other people who are in that community that have like very popular thoughts as well start following them and then they start sharing thoughts and then they start agreeing with each other and retweeting and that just creates a network that's centered around like 6 or 7 people with strong opinions and all the people who share that opinion but don't feel like writing it out just circled around them, just like a circle of retweets and of all people sharing the opinion of these 7.
Can I be honest for what I think it is? I think there's a weird phenomenon right now where in the age of like the smart internet like authoritative voice on a topic, people are honestly, I feel like people are genuinely afraid to disagree with certain people
Oh,
who
of
they
course.
were like they're like, "Oh, this smart person said something like this like they're telling me what I should think. Now I should think that as well." Like I feel like that I don't remember this happening like 5 years ago.
Well,
But
yeah.
now it's like you guys definitely don't know who he is because you don't follow the NBA. But I feel like the worst example of this is, and I love him, like he's fucking brilliant. But Zach Lowe, it feels like every fucking piece he writes or every like whatever he says on a podcast or a TV show, like it just feels like everybody who are like even people who are other NBA writers who have been doing it for way longer than he has, like are afraid to disagree with him because he says it he comes at everything in such like a analytical like intelligent way that I feel like a lot of times people are like they have their preconceived beliefs but then they like read the Zach Lowe piece to see what they should think and then they follow along. Like I just, it's strange.
Well, I think it's a lot about how quick people are to defend their like idols or people that they quote unquote stan because like it's hard to publicly disagree with someone without getting an intense amount of backlash.
Yeah.
Like if you, I'm sure you've had this issue because I know you've talked about Twitter arguments, but if you there it takes a certain person to comment on Twitter. It really does. To reply to a tweet. It takes a certain person. I am not that person. But if you feel strongly about a tweet in a negative way, I guarantee you there's 10 people who feel strongly about it in a positive way. So if someone tweets a political opinion and you comment ill of them, you will get 10 people defending them. Like
and God forbid somebody with a blue check mark comes in and replies
yeah,
to you.
or retweets you, then you're
Then
really fucked.
Then you get nuked.
If they like quote tweet you,
Yeah,
you are
yeah.
absolutely fucked. Because that is like replying. That doesn't always show.
Everyone sees
that
it.
doesn't always show like what they're replying to. You got to hit show reply, like show replies. If they quote tweet you, you are fucking destroyed.
That is a public execution.
Yeah, because like people are. I've never until recently. I've never seen people who are such fans of weird fucking things. Like people, I've never seen people who are so like such. Like fans of like one particular person to a point where they will defend them on literally everything. Like if you like I see this a lot because I followed like just let's just say Patton Oswalt, like he always like replies to like political tweets and like usually I agree with him. Well, most of the time I agree with him, but like even when I do, I almost always feel bad for the person that he is like quote tweeting or replying to because they didn't ask for this. They wanted to state their opinion and like maybe get one person to reply and get some discourse going. But the second a blue check retweets or quote tweets or replies to your statement, You are a fucking massive target. You are used to being a tiny target in a sea of tiny targets. And someone just took your target and fucking blew it up. And you were not ready for that. So, like...
But also, they turn the tide against you, too, because of their status.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It can be an argument that you're winning. Or, like, an argument that hasn't even started, and they automatically win because they have the backing of the people.
You know what I would compare it to? Something that I always thought was so... Like, one of the strangest, most, like, revealing things about the internet in general is... Do you remember, like, say, 5 years ago? Maybe 4? Maybe even 3? When it's hard to remember now, but when Watch Mojo was, like, considered a genuinely good channel, and people, like, actually liked Watch Mojo, and... Pretty much everyone on the site of YouTube had a popular opinion of Watch Mojo. Or not popular, positive opinion of Watch Mojo. And they were one of the early channels that, like, had consistently high production value in their videos. And then I Hate Everything came out with a video called I Hate Watch Mojo. You can literally split, like, pre I Hate Everything and post I Hate Everything, where the day before that video came out, it was all positive towards Watch Mojo. Everyone liked that channel pretty much. And then that video comes out, and then literally the next day, everybody hates Watch Mojo.
You know what I feel like the exact same thing happened with?
What?
The not Cinnamon Sins, Cinema Sins. Like that channel that goes through, like, movies and stuff and, like nitpicks really fucking stupid shit. Like, they used to be so popular and everyone used to love them.
Yep.
And then a couple choice people were like, dude, this is awful movie criticism, and just, like, pointed out the flaws, and instantly everyone started hating them. I don't blame these people for calling out these channels because they're legitimately bad and, like, unentertaining and like just not good content. But the way people so quickly flipped on them just because one person, like, it's like a dam. It's like, I Hate Everything, put a crack in it, and then everyone else saw that crack and was like, shit, like, the dam's about to flood. We better get the fuck on the other side and start hating Watch Mojo too. Because, like, it's being on the wrong side of that and trying to defend Watch Mojo as the tide is switching to everyone hating them, you're gonna get fucking destroyed.
And you
can't afford to
and
do
sometimes
that.
You just feel dumb. Like, when somebody with, like, that much authority puts a video out with such a strong stance like that, and such, like, a well-founded argument, you feel dumb for being on the other side.
Another thing that definitely applies to, I'd say, is, like, game, movie, and music reviews.
Yup.
Because I'm not going to name names, but I remember when I think Kendrick's Damn came out, and someone I knew was really into it. And I was like, I wasn't super into it. I thought it was okay. I liked some of the songs. And I was like, oh, did Anthony Fantano do a review of that yet? I'd like to see that. And, like, the review didn't really change my opinion. But then I talked to them the next day, and they were just like, yeah, I mean, I guess Damn isn't really that good. And I'm like, well, I thought you really liked that album. What happened? And they were like, well, Fantano sort of, like, I saw the Fantano review, and I realized it wasn't that good. And I was like, I don't think you realized it wasn't that good. I think you just
agreed.
Like, you just
You're afraid
not even
to go against.
You're afraid to go against Fantano because, like, he is the definitive voice for music reviews. I'd say, like, if he doesn't like something, like, everyone is like, yeah, I guess it's kind of bad. I mean, Fantano said so. He gave it like a 3 or whatever. Like, I guess it isn't good. But I think if you genuinely like something and then you change your opinion because you saw a review, and I'd understand it if, like, the review pointed out flaws that you didn't notice before that are, like, I don't know, like,
You just can't get out of your head.
yeah, like something that you can't forget. I'd understand changing it, but if you love something and then a middling review comes out and you start to like it less, I think you have a weak opinion.
And
Like,
also,
you just don't have any fucking backbone that you can defend something that you actually like. You just go with the majority.
I want to say this about the I Hate Everything Watch Mojo thing. What he pointed out in that video is valid about how they just spam videos constantly of like the most weird fucking random top 10 lists.
Yeah, we were watching some in New York, and they are fucking odd. Like top 10 geek rivalries and like.
But that didn't change the fact that back when they had topics to do, their videos were pretty decent and ahead of their time in terms of YouTube production value.
Yeah.
But now that's just completely lost. Nobody fucking talks about that anymore because
no one cares what they used to be. It's what they are now.
because of that review. Like now they're like their channel's like a joke now.
Yeah.
Because of that one I Hate Everything video.
And
even though he pointed out something valid, now that's all people fucking think about when thinking about Watch Mojo.
And the thing is, something like that is so hard to trace back because when you were mentioning back when Watch Mojo like was popular, it took me a fucking minute to remember that time.
Yeah.
Like that is a time that like has totally been glossed over, and I didn't even remember I Hate Everything doing a video on them.
That's how I could never forget.
It's just something that like the tide changed and I followed.
And that's happened to so many YouTube channels. Like I remember back when I was like beginning on YouTube, I watched Game Theory a lot, and like yeah, it was kind of a dumb channel, but like I liked it, and then someone made a video about how stupid it is, and then all of a sudden I flipped on a dime and hated that channel too. And that happened to a lot of people. And like that just happened with so many channels. Like so many channels that used to be so big are just so irrelevant now because of it.
But the thing is, it's hard to pick out. I mean, I'd say Game Theory is like legitimately not good. Like
it's got high production quality, but it's not good.
It doesn't really. It just has a half decent editor.
That's Game Theorists, right?
Yeah, it's Matt Pat.
Yeah, okay, I know.
But that's just a theory.
Yeah.
A game theory. It's that shit.
Yeah.
Like they're legitimately not good. Like
But
I remember I used to be a fan of them, and then I dropped off, and then I want to say like a year ago I watched a couple of their videos to see what they were doing. It's legitimately just not good content.
But what I'm saying is they had an overwhelmingly positive fan base, and then all of a sudden everyone just flipped on a dime at the same time on them, you know?
Because I'd say that that really happens mostly to people who have kids for fans. Because they are so easily influenced and so desperate to not be stupid.
I think it happens most to like people from like age 14 to 25.
Really?
Honestly. Yeah. I feel like kids on YouTube.
I'd say like 13 to 18 is
I feel like
my
kids.
range.
I feel like actual kids on YouTube. Well, 13 to 18 isn't kids, I don't think, but like by kids I thought you meant like 10.
No, they're diehard.
Yeah, you'll never change that.
Because those are the fucking those are like the Jake Paulers and shit.
Yeah.
Like you can throw as much like hate and goof at them and they won't care.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say it's when they start to get to the formative years where they want to be cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they start
you
to
can
side.
sway them really
That's
easily.
when they can get like the second someone trolls someone, they can easily be swayed, I'd say.
And that's not to say that people who point out like bullshit in popular YouTube things are always wrong. Or even
it can be legitimate
criticism. or even wrong at all, because I don't think the I Hate Everything video was necessarily wrong to make.
Same thing with Matt Pat criticism, I'd say.
Yeah, they didn't expect what they were gonna say to totally change everything like that. And like, cause like sometimes it is very necessary to point out like this kind of sucks. Please stop watching this. Like I don't know. Are you guys subscribed to Gus Johnson?
Oh, fuck yeah. I love that.
Have you seen the one where he points out the people reacting to Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yeah. We were watching a ton of those in New York.
Yeah. We saw that exact video like 2 days ago.
Because I saw that community like before the Gus Johnson video, and I was like, this is kind of like, this is cool, I guess. Like, I never watched them, but I was like, I'm fine with it. I don't have a problem with people who like were always into rap, like reacting to famous rock songs. But then I like actually once I saw that video, I was like, oh, I didn't realize like how like obviously fake these guys are, like pretending they've never heard
Yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsody, like that.
One of the most common songs ever.
That and like when the guy like he was like, "What is this band? Is it Quen?"
Yeah.
Like that. Like that. That is actually pointing out something legitimate.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's hard. It's hard to know when you are. It's hard to differentiate between when you're when you're hopping on a bandwagon, or when you're following someone's criticism.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'd say like, if you legitimately loved like to death those Bohemian Rhapsody reactions, let's say, and then you saw the fucking Gus Johnson video and you immediately like flipped on a dime and started hating them, I'd say you're bandwagoning then. But if you're like neutral on it and then your opinion gets lessened, I'd say you're just sort of listening to criticism.
And then the third one is if you're naive and didn't realize they were faking, and now you know that they're faking, you're like, oh, I don't want to watch this now that it's not.
Yeah.
But even then, if that actually did happen to someone, it wouldn't be like instant. They would have like a period where they're like, oh, but like
they'll
like,
go back on it.
They're like grappling with like, oh man, but I like these, but like this is kind of like stupid. Like this guy's obviously fake.
They'll go back to watching them, but they won't have the same appeal anymore.
Right.
Yeah, it's really hard to differentiate between following criticism and bandwagoning. I mean, even in my explanations, I can't fucking like set definitive parameters to follow. Like there really is. It's a really, really hard thing to like think about, because that's like getting into your own psychology and trying to figure out why you like certain things, and that's just a fucky subject that you can't really be objective about.
Yeah, so I guess just in short, I feel like there's a lot of groupthink going on in the world, and like people being afraid to go against like people who have like, especially people who come off as very intelligent and well thought out. There are just people who are afraid to go against it, and I feel like people aren't talking about that enough. And I feel like that's why we're in kind of this like weird like PC culture, cancel culture, Twitter stuff, is because people are afraid of like actually being the one guy to be like, hey, this is kind of stupid, and then getting like the 4 check marks who all follow each other to all quote tweet you and roast you.
But the thing is, every once in a while when that one guy does show up, sometimes he'll get supported, and sometimes it can make some change, but it's so rare, and it's such like a huge chance. Like it's the very low chance of you actually getting people who support you and agree with you, and getting some backing and making a bit of change. It's a very low chance of that happening. Much higher chance of people just roasting the fuck out of you and treating you like you're a clown. The whole clown meme is so like that's just the modern version of making fun of someone's laugh. Like there's no argument, there's nothing there. It's just
what are you talking about, like the clown emoji?
Like people like being like, like, hey pimp, you dropped your clown card. Like that is just such a juvenile way.
You're not arguing.
Like maybe it was funny the first time.
It was fucking hilarious the first time.
But it's not funny anymore.
That's just really showing that you don't have a counter argument, honestly.
It's just being
a sense of humor that's original.
Yeah.
Like
it's like the amount of times I've seen the picture of Mario holding a clown card, like presenting it to the fucking viewer is it's uncountable. But like that is just the thing is, it's super weak, but it cuts deep. Because when you see like 20, this has never happened to me, thank God, but when you see like 20 people drop clown emojis and different clown pictures, you're just like, wow, like these people don't even take my argument seriously enough to argue.
It's like, really bad.
They just don't give a shit.
They just want to clown me off.
Yeah. So I feel like it's so much more cutting than making fun of someone's laugh, because like it's just like a total disregard of your opinion. It's there's not much you can say to that, really.
And it's funny because like some of the people who like have platforms big enough to garner like following, like who have like people who just kind of like agree with what they say, like Dragonfly Jones is just a random black dude from Virginia. Like he has no fucking like credential Or
He
like
just has that blue check mark.
I don't even know if he has a blue check mark, to be honest.
He
But
has followers.
he makes funny jokes and has a ton of followers. So I don't know. It's so bizarre. But did you see that? I think it just came out today. That thing where it was like talking about how the 30s during World War II and how the climate then was so similar to now.
No.
And there's like that whole bit in it where they're like radio was just the Twitter of back then, where just any like random fuckhead could just like go on the radio and say whatever they wanted. And there's that guy who's like in like when the Nazis fucking invade Poland and like burn down shit, the guy like goes on the radio and says like the bed bugs have been burned tonight or something like that. Like
Jeez.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know about that.
yeah, well,
Well, I knew that I knew that the radio back then was just like, you just get your own frequency and you can just say whatever the fuck you want. Like, but I didn't know it was like that influential
yeah,
back
but
then.
it's funny because it's like it's the same shit or like it's happening right now, or just like anyone comes on and they make like funny jokes or they have I don't know a funny handle or they talk loud, whatever gets people to follow fucking weird ass Twitter people.
And
or
they're just
radio
like, wow,
people,
you're smart.
and they just like go with what they.
Oh,
so
dude,
strange.
you know what I actually saw today that's sort of like that? It was on Twitter and it was in like the news article and it was like new op-ed comes out that reveals that Friends is actually fucking trash. And it was like I've never seen Friends. I have no opinion
Friends
on it.
is pretty trash.
But like
It's annoying.
it was just like the single op-ed that was very opinionated about Friends. And like I was looking through the comments on Twitter and there were some people defending it, but I'd say a majority of it was people being like, I've been a fan of Friends for a while, and this really changed my view on it. Like, this is crazy. And it's like, dude, if some random fucking Joe Schmo came up and laid out these points, you wouldn't say, you would just be like,
Right.
fuck you, I love Friends. But since it was someone on a platform who was being promoted by Twitter, all like on the top of the news feed, you're like, shit, must be right.
Also, what is the media's strange obsession with Friends? I don't know if you guys have noticed this.
Every
but, like,
person loves Friends. Every human is obsessed with Friends.
Well, it's just like people who like Friends love Friends and watch it every single
And
fucking day.
everybody likes Friends. I feel like 80% of the population, maybe more, likes Friends.
The amount of times that this has only happened to me since I've been in college, but the amount of times that people have told me like, hey, we've been talking about TV shows, they'd be like, hey, you should watch Friends. The amount of times people have told me that, I can't fucking count. And I don't care if it is a good show. I don't care if it's a bad show.
It's not.
I don't care either fucking way.
Newsflash: if you
it.
needed to hear an op-ed to tell you that Friends is fucking garbage, you probably shouldn't be like, I don't know. It feels wrong to say that like they shouldn't be spouting their opinions, but like you should not be involved in like television discourse if you need someone to tell you Friends is like generic crap. Like.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, it doesn't look like anything special to me.
yeah,
It's not.
It looks like crap to me.
And people are like, oh, did you watch The Office? And I'm like, yeah, I liked that. And they're like, oh, did you watch Parks and Rec?
Don't
and I'm
even
like,
compare.
And I'm like, yeah, that was pretty good. And they're like, oh, you should watch Friends. That's like the progenitor of like that style of television.
Oh.
It's not even.
Yeah. It's just fucking sitcom.
Yeah, Friends is just like the epitome of a generic. You know what? You know what Friends is? Friends is watered down Seinfeld. That's what it is. It's Seinfeld watered down for like I don't know, 13-year-old girls.
Yeah, and like I remember like I watched How I Met Your Mother. I watched that show and I was like this is kind of fucking boring and like
yeah,
I didn't love it. I didn't hate it.
Yeah, same.
I was pretty neutral. I liked it in the beginning, didn't like it as much in the end, but overall I was pretty neutral on it. And people were fucking screaming at me. They were like, you watched How I Met Your Mother, but you still haven't seen Friends? Like, what the hell? That's blasphemy. Why would you not watch the God tier and instead spend your time on middle of the road? And I'm like, I don't fucking care. I saw it on Hulu and I thought it looked interesting, so I watched it.
And for the record, How I Met Your Mother is definitely better than Friends.
You think so?
Friends is not good, dude.
Jeez.
It's so it's like the epitome of just like generic sitcom.
So I'll say something about a good show, The Office. Which it's good at least in some seasons and some episodes.
It's good but overrated.
Yeah, it is highly rated, and
I will go on record and say I absolutely stand for the first three or not first three, but seasons 2 and 3, and maybe you can talk me into 4. I absolutely stand for those.
I was agreed, but like I was just on Instagram. This was probably like a month ago, and let me clarify that a year before this, I had pressed one Office meme on the Instagram, and on Instagram.
Oh no!
And ever since then, on every single one of my recommended feed on Instagram, there's at least 2 or 3 tiles that's just all Office stuff. And
That's like me with JoJo. All I get is JoJo memes now.
I got so mad like a month ago. I got so mad. I was like, I just want this shit to go away. So I pressed it again. Bad mistake. And I went on it and I just typed, "This has been done for years now. Why are you still posting Jim and Pam stuff?" And people just hopped on me on Instagram, just like, "What do you mean? Their love was legit. It was beautiful. We should be able to talk about what we like." And I was just like, "Oh, I shouldn't have said this." But like, come on. It's the Office.
Speaking of their true love, have you heard the theory that Pam is actually a terrible girlfriend and that
No.
and she's kind of a bitch and that Jim was way too good for her?
No, I've never heard that
Just
before.
a side note, look that up in your free time. It's kind of funny. But yeah, The Office, I would say like I do really like The Office, especially earlier on, but like people act like it's literally the best show to ever grace television.
Mm-mm.
And B, when they post all these like random ass Office memes, like the Office fan community on Instagram, they post all like the shitty seasons too. They're like,
dude, season 8, bro. Look at this. Look at this Gabe
sick Robert California scene.
Dude, look at fucking Gabe and Holly go off.
yeah, literally. They're like, dude, you know what's so funny is like this episode where like during a meeting Daryl like fucking shoots a basketball into a fish tank. Like, isn't that fucking
Dude, that's
awesome?
fucking
Like,
sick, dude.
The Office is so fucking overrated. Like, there are so many people who The Office is just their personality.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if I see in your Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, fucking, I don't care, like anything that you have like a bio in, if I see I'm just a Pan looking for my Jim or I'm just a Jim looking for my Pan, I'm not talking to you. Straight up, you have a boring personality.
Also,
don't talk to me.
I'm gonna say,
Literally, the community and the overexposure of it literally ruined the whole scene where Jim pretends to be Dwight for me. It's just
Yeah.
not funny anymore because I don't know how many fucking times I've heard Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
Or like the one where like they replace Jim with an Asian guy.
yeah, I
Like,
see
that's
that one
from a
lot.
mediocre season too,
Yeah.
isn't it?
That's
Isn't
from
that-
the later seasons.
Isn't that from
yeah.
like 7
Well,
or
all
8?
I
I
know
don't
is
know,
that
but
I
it's-
skipped that episode,
it's a-
and I only skipped in the
It's
last
a
season.
funny moment, but I've seen it too many times.
It's also weird.
Yeah.
Like that's when they like.
I mean,
that's the sign of like the bad
that's
Office. Is
that's
like
when it
even
got
when,
like a little surreal almost.
yeah, it's like even when the funny episodes are just way too unbelievable. Like even the funny bits are
yeah,
just
they
like
got
so
a
out
lot
there.
less grounded.
and the way I see the Office fandom is like it's 60% just like fangirling over Jim and Pam, and then it's like 30% just Dwight stupid memes, and then like the other 10% is just, oh yeah, look at Toby, look at this fuckhead, like, and that's it.
It's just people who
And they don't even talk, or I shouldn't say don't, but they rarely talk about the actual best character who makes the whole fucking show.
Steve Carell. No
Yeah.
one says anything about him because they just want to see fucking Pam and Jim bone. Like, it's terrible.
The only things that they reference are him screaming no, and that's what she said.
Yeah.
And the
That's
ghetto,
it.
just him with the fucking purple bandana on.
That ruined. That was literally like one of my absolute favorite episodes,
And they ruined it.
and people
Yeah.
ruined it for me. Yeah.
Same.
The only episodes that like even work for me are the ones that are like still kind of underrated.
Like the dinner party episode.
That one's properly rated.
Yeah.
Properly
I don't see
rated.
memes from that one very often.
No,
though.
but it's properly rated and it's good
Yeah.
that way. But like they ruined fucking what's the fire emergency drill?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
People have ruined that for me.
With like fucking Angela throwing her cat into
Yeah.
the ceiling, like that was
I've
a
just
funny
seen it,
scene.
I've
and
just
now,
seen it too
yeah.
many times.
I've seen that entire like sequence on Facebook too many
Yeah.
times.
Like I laughed so hard when I saw Angela throw her
Yeah.
cat through the ceiling, and now when I see it on social media, I'm like, dude, just get this shit out of
Or
out of
like
here.
Kevin in the chili.
Yeah, not funny
Yeah.
anymore.
No, like
Yeah, another thing that I
literally,
laughed at a
I don't
lot.
remember who it was, but I saw on someone's Snapchat story they were like watching The Office for the first time. Finally got to the Kevin chili scene, and it was before Kevin even
Oh.
spilt the chili. It was just him with the bucket with the giant pot, and I was like, "You've seen it. You've already seen this scene. It's fucking ruined
Like-
for you." And this fucking stupid community that's just a bunch of rats clinging onto a boat that is sinking and has been sinking for years. But they're
It's
too
already
fucking-
sank. There's
they're
just an
too
air
fucking
bubble under
stupid
it.
to jump off of it because they can't find another personality trait. This is already too ingrained in them because what's a phase? I can't have a phase. This is who I am. I am the Office. I am Pam looking for my gym.
This
Yeah,
is
because,
such an
you know-
angry episode. I love it.
Yeah, because like the Nightmare Before Christmas, that's too generic. We gotta stick with The Office,
Like people can't realize that this ship sunk a long ass time ago and you're holding on to scraps. Why not just find a new ship to get onto? There are so many good new TV shows that are coming out.
But nothing
You know
can
what's
compare
hilarious?
to The Office.
The Office is probably more popular now than it ever was.
Definitely.
And it's been gone for how many years now?
6.
Like, yeah.
But like there are so many new shows like I don't know, fucking watch It's Always Sunny, the newest season. Fucking watch Superstore. Superstore is great.
Honestly, It's Always Sunny is like it's not there yet, but I can feel it. Like maybe
It's very close to getting
it's
overrated.
very close to people overexposing it.
It really is. There's
It's
too many.
very
But
close.
the thing is, which is sort of what they're doing with The Office, it's usually the later seasons that are being overexposed.
Yeah.
If you watch like the earlier seasons, like I'd say
I
seasons
agree.
like 1 through 6, maybe even forward more, you don't see that stuff memed nearly as often. Which
You know
I
what?
like.
You know what is the dumbest fucking It's Always Sunny meme?
What
I think it might maybe other than
is it? The
Kid-
Pepe Sylvia?
No. Maybe other than Kitten Mittens, it might be the most like memed thing from the show. And it's like not funny. It's from a bad episode. Is Rumham.
I've seen Milksteak more.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen Rumham more, but like
I've seen
The Rumham
Milksteak
episode
and
fucking
Rumham.
sucks.
I haven't seen that too much.
That is
Also-
one of the worst episodes.
The
I
most
really
common
hate
is
that
the
episode.
Trash Man.
Really?
Yeah, that's from my experience. I've seen that one the most.
I don't think I've ever seen the trash. Or maybe
I've
like
seen that
once in
plenty.
a while.
I've seen that a lot.
I mean, people who self-deprecate frequently love the
Yeah.
Trash Man.
You know what I will say though is I don't know why. Maybe it's because people don't want to rewatch it all the time. Because like the whole like culture of just like binging The Office like constantly. Just like when you're looking for something to do, you just have The Office going in the background constantly. So maybe it's just that people don't want this like episode that actually has like emotional weight to it. But I'm very, very happy that maybe the best episode in the whole show is underrated.
Which
It's
episode?
Casino Night. It's actually somehow underrated.
Which episode?
Still.
What happened?
Is that the
in
episode where Kevin like bets like
Yeah.
all his money on shitty odds?
That's the finale to season 2 where Jim kisses Pam.
Isn't that the
okay.
same one where like Michael is dating someone
He's
else?
dating 2
and-
girls at once.
and fucking
he has to have them both at the
What's her
casino
name?
night. He has Jan, and then he
Jan.
has his real estate lady.
yeah. Oh, dude, that was his actual wife too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that episode was good.
It's so because people don't even remember the jokes in it because they just don't watch it because I think they want something easier than like the like romantic climax at the end.
Yeah, why would you go for that when you go for Bears beats Battlestar Galactica, you know?
Because like, do you even if you ask a lot of like office like retards, like would they even do you guys even remember the scene where Michael has Daryl in his office during casino night and Dwight? Do you even remember that?
No.
That's one of the
No.
funniest jokes in the whole show. And like I love that it somehow still managed to be underrated.
Yeah,
Let's keep it that
that's
way.
what I like a lot about the earlier It's Always Sunny stuff. Whenever I rewatch, I usually rewatch halfway through and then I'm done.
Mhm.
Like
Oh yeah, I stop after like season 6.
like after that, it doesn't get as good and like it becomes too familiar. But like I do not understand people clinging onto these shows so much. Like again, there are good new shows coming out. Fucking Superstore. Like I said, Superstore is a great show. Watch that. It's a sitcom with drama and romance and all that fucking stupid shit in a work setting. It's just like The Office. Like, find something else to latch on, you stupid fucking ignorant imbeciles.
Yeah, if you're still addicted to The Office, you're a freak. Get a life. All
I
right.
think if you base your personality off of a piece of media, you are a weak person. Just fucking straight up. Like you are a weak person. Develop yourself. Fucking stop.
Expand your palate.
Not even expand your palate.
Just
because
move
that,
your palate.
Because that, no, nothing to do with palate, because that implies shifting your personality to another piece of media. Get your own fucking personality and stop borrowing from pop culture, you fucking idiot.
You're not Dwight, you're you. All
Like,
right.
Jesus Christ. Why can you not have an original thought? Or an original opinion? Or just like, I don't know, enjoy something for the sake of enjoying it and not base your life off of it.
Can we also, speaking of when you said you're not Dwight, can we talk about how Dwight is just not funny after a certain point in the show? Like after and season 6 on, like the Dwight jokes just are not funny anymore.
Yeah, it gets old. It's the same
I don't
shit
even think
over
it's
and over and
old. I think
over.
it's they're just bad. Like they try to turn him into like Sheldon Cooper.
Well, because it's like, how much can you do with, oh, I'm a semi-Aspergic freak? Like, how much can you do with that?
Yeah, he is.
Without you getting through all the trite, like, boring shit.
I think it's because they got so much weirder with him. Like the marriage contract, the procreation thing, that
Yeah.
is so fucking weird, even for him. That's where it just crosses way past believable.
That's where the show starts to get surreal for me. Like, I stop believing that it takes place in the real
Yeah.
world.
The way I see it
exactly.
is that Dwight is good in the first few seasons. Then he starts like dating Angela and stuff in the later seasons. It's like starts out kind of good, then gets worse. And then like at the very end of the show, like when he's actually getting married with Angela and you can see how his character has changed, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Like, because he's a different character at that point.
My
honestly.
thing is, like, at a certain point, once the surreal thing stuff like starts to actually happen, it stops feeling like a documentary, like it's supposed to be.
Yep. It feels like a sitcom.
Like that's when it doesn't feel like the cameramen are actually there. That's when it feels like you're on a set. Like,
until fucking season 9, when
Yeah.
they start having the cameramen as characters.
that was fucking weird. I when I first saw that, I was so not ready.
I don't
for that.
remember. All I remember from season 9 is
You don't remember
Andy.
the camera dude that was into Pam?
All I remember is Andy going on American Idol. Then I skipped through the rest of the season to the very end because I was not really into watching.
I
it.
forced myself to watch. Literally,
couldn't.
it was like a chore for me. Where like when I should have been doing, like most kids would have been like,
You said this before.
yeah,
I love
most
this.
kids would have been like, oh no man, I can't play video games for like the next like hour because I gotta like bang through some homework. Like for me, it was like when I should have been doing homework, it was like, nah man, I gotta get through like 3 episodes of The Office so I can say I finished it.
I gotta trudge
Like-
through this terrible show.
And I just didn't do homework because like the time I should have been doing homework, I was just fucking sitting there torturing myself.
Honestly, homework would have been more fun.
yeah, I know.
That's how
sad.
bad it is.
It's so sad.
That's a testament to how bad The Office is and how bad your priorities were.
God.
This has been an angry episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had Steve
I
release.
just hate people who are base their personalities off of media. Again, I think you're fucking weak.
We literally we talked about shit And then we were just angry. I suggested one topic and we've made it over an hour.
Yeah, you suggested fucking groupthink, and now we're on sitcoms.
Do you want to
Yeah, why not?
wrap this up with one more funny topic?
Yeah.
So, I was on.
Tried to hold that one in.
I was on Instagram the other day, and I saw, because of course, like a man of culture, I follow adult entertainer Riley Reid on Instagram.
Really? That's very public.
What do you mean?
Following someone like that on Instagram, that's very public, Max.
Well, I do.
It's fine, whatever.
And so she posted a story. I want to say this is maybe like a week ago, and it was like the story was like 6 like whatever those like little what even those like blocks. You know what I mean? Like
whatever, just 6 time slots.
Yeah, 6 time slots long of her like getting recognized in a mall and just like taking pictures with like 6 dudes. And I thought this was very interesting for a number of reasons. First of all, not gonna lie, I don't think I would even recognize Riley Reid if I saw her in public. Not gonna lie.
Yep.
Though I don't ever watch Riley Reid.
Literally, the only thing I know about her is critically making jokes about a prolapsed asshole. Like, that's about it.
Yeah, I never watched Riley Reid. I don't think I would ever recognize her in public.
I just know her as being like the super famous. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
When you think of like a porn star, you think of her, you know?
Yeah. But so not only do I think would I not recognize her, would I even have like the guile and confidence to go up to her and ask her for a fucking picture?
Hell yeah.
In a crowded mall.
No
Dude.
way. I would never do that. Dan, don't act like you would fucking
I
do
wouldn't,
that.
because I wouldn't recognize her, but like, Max, come on.
No,
you would do that.
I'm saying, Dan, do you think if you saw a porn star you recognize in the mall, you would go up to them and ask for an autograph?
But I felt like Max would.
I don't think Max would.
I don't know if I would. Because
I feel like in the moment you would be like, what the fuck? And freeze up.
Yeah, I think I would too. I would just like not know what to do that I'm seeing this porn star like in regular ass everyday life.
Also, I wouldn't believe it. Like even if I saw fucking like I don't know, fucking Mia Khalifa and like I was close enough to be able to confirm like that's her, I wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Not nearly. I wouldn't have like a high enough certainty fucking ratio to go up and be like, hey, porn star, sign my t-shirt.
And it's so fun. One of the dudes she like fucking poses for a picture with he's like 50. And I don't remember, but I think he might have even been there with like his wife. Oh. And he's just like, oh, I'm gonna go pose with this porn star.
Okay, doing it for like a meme with your friends, that would be fucking sick.
Yeah, that's a power move.
But like alone with no one to impress, no way I would do it.
Even if I saw a porn star that I like actually liked, like I'll say this, someone who's been kind of rising on my radar lately is Danny Daniels, because I saw a video of her like behind the scenes with some like porn dude, and they like it's like one of the only pornos I've ever seen where they have like actual chemistry and they like actually seem like they kind of like each other. So just because of that, I kind of ride with her. But even if I saw her in public and recognized her, I don't think I would ever fucking take a picture with her. And this is me we're talking about.
Yeah. You just talked about shit incidents for 12 minutes.
I don't even think I would be, especially because like that's so strange to even like, how do you start that conversation? I'm a big fan of your work. That doesn't
I just jerked off to you last night.
Yeah, that just doesn't feel appropriate. Even though she is a porn star.
No, it doesn't matter to her. Like, you could say, oh, I jerked off to you last night. She's like, yeah, it's what I do for a living.
Yeah, but even so, like, they're still human beings. Like,
but they're human beings who are used to being in that situation.
They're jaded. Like, they don't care.
But
they've heard it so much.
But
like,
even me, like when I get in, like if I'm in like walking around the mall with my friends mode. I'm not in like I don't know. I'm trying to think of like some other weird aspect of my personality. Like if I'm in everyday life casual mode, I'm not in like fucking I don't know. I can't even think of like an aspect of my personality that's as like outlandish as being a porn star. But like I like those like you just have certain modes, and I feel like if I were a porn star, I wouldn't be able to just like flip to porn star mode in the middle of my daily life when I'm trying to like live it in public.
Well, maybe you could just like distance yourself from it. It's like, oh hey, a fan, nice, instead of like, oh, this is the person that watched me. You know what I mean?
I feel like that might be weird at first, but I'm sure they get used to it. Much like how YouTubers get used to being recognized and stuff like that.
But
Porn
even
stars
if I
are
was
very open-minded, like
But if I
don't
were a
care.
YouTuber, I like that's fine nowadays. Like be a YouTuber is not weird anymore. Like,
Oh, so you're saying you would be, if you were a porn star and someone came up to you and said, I like you masturbating, you would be embarrassed?
yeah, I think so.
I don't think anyone who is a porn star would be that embarrassed. They probably have very high confidence in their sexuality.
If they were that embarrassed, they wouldn't have been in the porn industry in the first place.
I don't think they would be embarrassed. I think they would find it very funny. Like, I imagine them finding the idea of someone who jerks off to them on the internet coming up to them and saying hi, fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it would
and
be
then,
funny.
It's a great point because that makes me want to go up to them and ask for a picture even less. If they're like being like, look at this fucking like dude just who jerks off to
this
me.
twerp.
Like, yeah, like no way. No. Yeah, I am firmly in the camp of no fucking way am I ever asking a porn star to take a picture of me. Never.
Like, all the dudes that do it are just like fucking dumbasses. Like, they're just like, yeah, do it for the meme.
Yeah, maybe if it was
Like,
for the meme.
All of them. That's what they do it. They just do it for the meme.
I don't think that's dumbassery. I think that's fucking sick.
It just shows like a level of I don't care-ery. Like, that's a bad way to say it. A level of not giving a shit. That's like,
Carelessness.
yeah. Carelessness. Yeah. That's just like, if you're at that point, why not just take a picture of the porn star? Like, you don't care. Like, it's funny.
Yeah, I guess, but like I would have to have like a
Yeah, I need to talk to.
and I would need a look on my face that like let everybody know around me that I'm doing it for the meme.
And not just
Well, yeah,
doing
you
it.
would. You.
Like I would have to have some very meme-ish body language.
I would be like, dude, is that fucking blank blank blank? Like, and I'd wait for people to confirm and be like, holy shit, it is. I recognize them, and then I'd be like, dude, I'm gonna go fucking ask for an autograph. Like, that's how I would approach it. Like, make sure beforehand everyone knows this is big meme territory, not big I jerk off to you, please sign this territory.
I mean, even like as I'm taking the picture, so that people walking by who know what's going on are like, "Oh, he's doing it for the meme."
I don't think I would ever even think of that, honestly.
I would have to try to like make it obvious because there's even me.
You don't want to be seen as that guy.
Yeah.
So you're saying like people around you also recognize, but they're too like they aren't confident enough to go up, and they're like judging you.
No, I'm saying if somebody were to recognize me, I would want it to be very clear by my body language that it's for a meme.
And not just like, oh man, this is my favorite porn star. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Oh, you're saying like when you post the picture,
or even as I'm taking it, and people are like in the mall walking by.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would think about that, honestly.
That
Also,
would be all I could fucking
imagine
think
just
about.
being a porn star of that amount of fame and being like, oh, I could just go out to CVS right now and there's a good chance one of the dudes there will recognize me.
Dude, the fucking story that she posted, it looked like one guy went up to her for a picture, and then it seemed like there was a whole fucking line of people.
I bet
like-
that's how it was. I bet one dude broke the ice
The trail
and took the picture, and then everyone else was like, I mean, if he's doing it.
Yeah, bro. It's just
You know what's really
groupthink,
you know what's
you know?
really funny? This is a thing in like California and areas with like a high density of rich people, but when when someone sees someone else giving out an autograph, they will go up and get one anyways.
I have heard that.
So imagine just being like some random autograph hog, and like you see someone like go up for an autograph to fucking Riley Reid, and then like you're like, oh, I'll get one too because maybe like people will pay for it, and you fucking go up and you're mid autograph, and you're just like, oh, what do you do anyways? And they're like, oh, I'm a porn star. Like that would be fucking hilarious.
That just gave me a good idea of like, what if like a couple of us just went to California and like one of us dressed up in really fancy clothes and the other one was like, oh, can I have your autograph? And you just
that would be
started-
sick.
You're just like, yeah, sure. And they're like, oh, what do you do? It's just like, oh, nothing.
That is a pretty good
I'm
idea.
just an average dude.
No, I would just say.
Dude, we could probably do that in fucking Boston.
I would just say like, oh, dude, I invented the modern picture frame. Like just something absolutely fucking stupid.
This is a good. This is good content.
This would be good, honestly. Like,
Oh, I kicked the can 5 times one time. Like, here's an autograph.
I have the record
Give
for
it to your-
largest yoga ball ever created.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I have the record for like the most amount of pool noodles fit inside of a trash can. Now let me sign your tits. Like, you know, it's like.
I mean, I wouldn't be that aggressive, but
Yeah,
like,
that's-
the way I conceive it is that like, let's say theoretically Max is like pimped out, and like me and you are like freaking
Dude,
out. And be
oh
like,
my God.
Dude, that's Mix Licks. That's like the Mix Licks.
That's the Geico caveman. Oh my god.
And like we go up to him and like we like make a big deal. We're in like Park Street Station where like there are a bunch of people. We make a big deal.
We're just like
and
pacing back and
people-
forth, like, oh my
and
god.
people line up behind us, and then they get to him, and he's like,
Hey.
I have the record for longest toe hair.
No, you have to go for as long as possible without saying it until
Yeah.
someone asks you, and that's when you bust out the lame ass thing.
Yeah.
But also, I feel
You want
like
to see how many autographs you can get before
Yeah.
they start like going away.
What do you do? Like, why are people getting your autograph? I own 13 Xbox 360 controllers.
I'm in the top 1% of NBA fans.
No, I like it not even being a record. Just like, oh, why are people getting your autograph? Drive a Camry.
Dude, the pussy wagon. You don't know the pussy wagon?
Yeah, also, I feel like that has to be like the most annoying fucking thing for a celebrity. Like when people get your autograph and like interrupt your day and have no idea who you are.
Yeah, just
That must be
that.
so infuriating.
I always see Tony Hawk tweet about that. Like,
I feel like
that
Tony
would
Hawk.
really piss me off if like
yeah.
if like if say I was famous and like a genuine fan came up and was like, oh, I really love whatever the fuck you do. Can you sign this? And then the next person is like, can I get your signature? And then midway through, they're like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Dude, I would be fucking livid, and I would just like throw whatever. the
I
fuck
love
I'm
how
signing.
cynical Tony Hawk is about his fame. It's great.
Because skateboarding it's all right. It's the perfect zone that he's in. Where like, I always feel like people who are humble because they have enough accomplishments that they can be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like Tony Hawk is in like this perfect zone where he is free to accept the fact that he's not really that famous and that most people know him from a video game. But that's because he's literally the best to ever do what he does. So
Yeah,
like
he knows he peaked, and he's fine with that.
but because he has that confidence, he can always know in his heart that he's like, no one can fucking skateboard better than I can. I'm motherfucking Tony Hawk. So
I fucking pioneered the fucking sport.
So
like,
that gives him like that foundation to where he can like make fun of himself and be like, oh yeah, I'm not really that famous.
to just have like unlimited confidence.
Exactly. It's the perfect zone.
Yeah, that's a pretty good zone. But like, yeah, thinking about it, if I was a celebrity and someone who didn't know who I was asked for an autograph just cause, I'd be fucking pissed off.
yeah, I'd be like, I don't have time for this shit. Like,
That's just lame.
yeah.
All right, sounds like we're nearing the end here.
Closing up shop.
Getting ready to wrap up.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sleepy.
went for a good almost hour and 20 minutes. About the limit that these should be, I would say.
Agreed.
Got real angry. Ended on much
I
less.
feel better now.
Yeah, ended on a much less intense note. I'm glad it sizzled out slowly rather than end in a bang.
Yeah. All right, so that was episode 12, I believe. If you enjoyed, don't forget to tell your friends, share us around, subscribe so you can hear more. If you, for whatever reason, after hearing us talk about shit, porn stars, and then getting really fucking mad for 50 minutes, and you want to sponsor it, please.
Depends. I'm looking at you.
Depends.
Help Max with his shit issue.
Depends and fuck.com. Come on.
Yeah, fuq.com. Fucking step up. We are your perfect audience.
You could just sponsor us with like 1 cent and we'll be. That's all we need.
Dude,
Yeah.
just send us a sex doll.
Just the fact that we can say you're our sponsor is good enough for us. That's a fucking win in my
We
life.
could just say that.
We could say that. Coming in episode 12, or episode 13, I think we're gonna have to open up with a fake fuck.com read.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
I'm down.
I think we're gonna have to do that. Okay, so if you made it this far, look forward to that next episode.
Inside
Yeah, just
scoop.
check out fuck.com. It's a great
Yeah,
website.
great
Yeah,
site.
dude, fish blowjob.
They need to
Give me snake blowjob.
No, that's not on fuck.com. They need
Yeah,
to
snake
update.
blowjob
They need
is
to
fucked.
update their website though. Just saying. All right,
It's
so
perfect.
that's it. We out.
Bye.
See ya.
Dan, sing our outro song.
Goodbye today. Have a nice night.